Hello folks and welcome. So LMDE 6, Linux Mint Debian Edition, Linux Mint Debian Edition, Cinnamon Desktop, codename Faye. That was released I believe this week, if not earlier last week, and I do have a couple of videos already out for that. And I may make mention of it a little bit later because I'm going to be showing you stuff with large scroll bars, for instance. But in either case, I would encourage that you subscribe so you can watch this video and others at your leisure. Most of my videos are over 2 minutes. But more importantly, I have lots of tips and tricks for you. As a subscriber, you can watch this today, tomorrow, next week, whenever you have time on your schedule. So I will first make mention of the fact that this video is on custom icons. Not everybody's thing. Not everybody's cup of tea, as one would say. Now, if you look down on my panel, you will see some custom icons. The Linux Mint logo is different. What says LMDE 6 next to the right side of it is a TV screen. That's actually my file manager Nemo. Next to that is a Firefox web browser icon that is non-standard. Stuff like that. I'll talk about a little bit about the ground rules and also some tips and tricks and cautions. So welcome folks. I'm filming in 1920 by 1080. You can adjust your YouTube player accordingly with that gear symbol because a lot of them default to 460. It's a lot less screen res than I'm filming in. So let me close that, and I'm going to bring up my keyboard just for a second because I'm going to talk about a couple of keyboard shortcuts also. So if you got a super key, some people have a start key, some people don't have one of these. But some people have a key that looks like a Windows key, and again, some folks won't have it. That opens up the Mint menu. I'll also be talking about the Control key. I'm blinking it. And maybe the X. Control and X will be a cut. Control, hold it down, and C is a copy. Control and V is a paste. This is for you folks that are not used to keyboard shortcuts. Then I'm also going to talk about the Alt and F2 to restart Cinnamon. So a couple of things like that. All right, so let me talk about this menu for a second. So I have a couple of icons that are non-standard. Obviously, the Linux Mint logo icon is different. The TV screen thing is my file manager Nemo. My internet icon is actually an icon that came from the system, but it's not the standard one. And I created or downloaded an icon off the internet with a different web browser icon for Firefox. This icon is quite old, actually. And then the game category is Darth Vader, if you can't see that. And normally to have any categories displayed, you need one or more items, and I'll cover that. Okay, so let's talk about some ground rules. Do you create your own icons? That's great. Do you have a friend that does? That's even greater, right? Have the friend do it for you. Well, you can also download stuff off the internet. You can think about it this way. If you download a PNG icon or possibly a JPEG, sometimes you want icons without backgrounds. But there's also tools out there that I'll talk about that you can, edit stuff. And then there's for the folks that don't want to do any of that stuff and they want to just pick system icons. In other words, icons from the system. And I'm going to show all of that today. But let's say you wanted to create your own or download or bring in icons from your friend. Well, then we're talking about creating a folder in here, somewhere in your home folder. You call that folder whatever you want. But the ground rule is this. I put mine in my documents folder and I called mine icons appropriately enough. And now you can see some of my icons in here. I'm going full screen. So some of these I've created, some of these I've altered, some of them I just straight downloaded. To give you an example, like the Home Depot icon. And if you're not from the US, a Home Depot is a hardware store. So I downloaded the icon and then I rounded the corners off using GIMP. GIMP is like Photoshop. All of the icons that you'll find on my YouTube site when you're a subscriber are all done with GIMP. I had a previous channel that had 450 plus videos. Those are also done with GIMP. So again, you can do a lot of things with a lot of tools. You'll see sometimes you'll download icons with black borders. Well, they kind of have a tendency to show up in certain places. So sometimes you want to eliminate those things. So they're clean borders. So all these kind of tools. There are lots of tools you can use. All right, in either case, this is my icon folder. And so I've collected these for a long time. More importantly, bring in your own. Call it whatever you want, but once you use one or more icons in your system, leave the folder where it's at and do not change the name. Otherwise, you'll end up with weird effects on your system. All right, another rule that I am going to make mention of, or at least a tip, is when you're changing themes, do this before you alter the icons. Otherwise, after you alter icons and then you change the themes, undesirable effects could occur. The combinations of these three, you can have lots of different outcomes. All right, so with all that stuff said, let's talk about this icon here. Right-click, configure, starting with this icon itself. This is what yours will look like. It may be bigger, but it will not have anything but when you point to it, it'll say menu on it. So I slid this on and I actually made this icon from this menu. This will be on your system also. My scroll bar is unusually wide, and you can watch my other video on LMDE 6 for that. When you become a subscriber, please look in my community tab. It'll show you how to do keyword searches. All of my 200 plus videos have keyword searches, and they always will have, just like my previous channel. More importantly, you can pick mint icons in here. You want this green round one? You got it. You want the cinnamon? That's the cinnamon one, black and white. You have different icons that you can choose from the Linux Mint menu part. You also have other stuff in here. These are just icons, folks. If you want to make that your new icon, you certainly can. Or you want a device icon like that, you can. You can also bring in your own icon by hitting Browse. This is the same folder I was referring to earlier. My dot icons, or sorry, wrong, strike that. My Documents Icons folder. My Documents Icon folder contains all of these, and you may not be able to see these. So what I'm going to do is open up Nemo. Yes, that's Nemo, the file manager. I can go full screen for a second and go up to here and open this up so you can see what these look like. And then I'm going to reduce these. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick one of these. I'll pick number 10 box, or box 10. You can see the larger version of it here. And then I'm going to hit open and click that and select it, and now it's changed. Now I can close that. That's only for viewing larger. So now you can see the icon. Now I'm going to talk about a couple of things. First of all, the relationship of the size of the icon to the relationship of your panel. Right-click, panel settings. Where do you have yours set? Mine is currently set at 50. Now I'm going to drop this down to the center. This is normally default. And I want you to see how tightly this thing is squeezed in there. Also, all the icons just changed. But I can also reduce this from 47 to 16. I'm going to do a Control X to cut it and punch in 16 and hit enter. Now that's a 16. Very small icon. I call it dinky. The minus is no more. That's the smallest it'll go. As I move it up, this will keep increasing. So the panel height currently is set at 41. So probably want to crank that up to prop 30 something. 38 will work just fine because it's 2 below the actual height of the par. But now I'm going to crank this up to 50 like I had it before. So now I have a lot of red space. So I'm going to keep cranking this up. That might be good right there. Okay, just wanted to let you see the relationship between your panel and that icon. So you may or may not want text. I'm going to do a Control X. So that's what it looks like without text. And then I'm going to type in my stuff. And put whatever you want on there. My system, my Linux junk, whatever you want to put in there. But if you wanted some space in between here and that icon, and also the tail end, you just click next to the letter, like the M here. I'm going to create a little bit more red space in here. My space bar, once, twice. Now I got a little bit more space. And then this is very hard for you to see, folks, but there's a line right here next to this icon. The red box is represented by my text and the icon itself. But I wanted to increase that spacing. So what I did, I'm going to click next to the F and hit my spacebar twice. It doesn't take away that much real estate, but it does take a little bit away from your panel, but not that much. So now you can see it in full force. I'll stick an icon down here. I'll just use games. I'll drag this and throw it down here somewhere. So now you can see the spacing in here. And then I'll unpin that. All right, so that's that icon done through right click and configure. So I'm going to click on menu for a second, just for a second, and you may want to take a screenshot of this. Again, you have a tool called SC, screenshot. Screenshot, window, selection, your choice. Got a good memory? Well, then don't do screenshots. I usually do window. It never takes a picture of itself. You can put the tool right on top of it and snap the screenshot. And it makes for a small file, and then you can save it wherever you want. Got a good memory? Well, good. Anyways, if you increase these numbers, these icons and 3 categories, because right now there are 3 categories, this, and this will represent these numbers, and they're listed in here. Category, application, and favorites. Favorites would be this guy here. Okay, so it's kind of backwards, but anyways, you get the idea. Increase those numbers to a bigger icon set if you want those. If you are dealing with the window itself, please be aware this is resizable now in LMDE 6, and you can do this. Okay, very similar to an XFCE desktop. Okay, so now I'll just leave it at that height. Let's talk about these icons now. That one came from the system, believe it or not, but it's not the real standard icon because it looks like a cloud. Very similar to that, but it's blue. That's your standard icons. If you installed 1 or more games, and by the way, LMDE 6 do not install games by default, at least not on my system. I had to install this through Software Manager. You can install software 3 ways here. Software Manager, the favorite with a lot of folks, Synaptic Package Manager, or Terminal. I installed the recording software through Terminal, but that's another animal in itself. But this icon normally looks like Space Invaders. It's a retro game, I think from the 70s or somewhere in that time frame. But more importantly, let me show you what the icons look like, and then I'll talk about either the Firefox icon is different here, and on the panel, and also the file manager, Nemo, is different from standard. It normally looks like your folders. So what did I pick for a theme today? My theme for today is using Mint Y Sand. I believe it's the default. So if you altered those icons, that would be a different color, is what I'm getting at. Right click, edit menu. That's one way to get in here. Right click, configure menu, open menu editor. There's restore system configuration for the last resort people. You can also restore from time shift, restore menu to its original size. There's all kinds of restore options in here. But more importantly, if you're careful with this, there shouldn't be a problem. But I will talk about some more ground rules when it comes down to changing information in here. I'm not talking icons this time. I'm talking about the actual the information in the icons. So the file manager, this guy here, Nemo, you can see that. I just launched it, and I'm going to close that. This icon looks like a brown folder with the theme I have currently. So that's found in the accessories, and it's called Files, and I'm going to hit Properties. And what you're looking for is it'll say Command Nemo %U. That's how you know that's the right icon. Why do I say that? Because there's a couple more, I believe, in here that have the word Files in it. That would not be the right icon. This one is. So that's the icon that you currently see here and here. What does the standard one look like? So my advice to you when I have this open, do not change the name and the command. Okay, now that icon normally looks like this. I'm just going to type in File. It'll say File Manager on it. My theme again was Mint Y Sand, was it? Yes. So that would be the color of that icon. Close. Now that's been changed to to that color, but not this one. What do I need to do here? Do I need to reboot my system? Waste of time. Do I need to log in and out of my system? Waste of time. There are 3 ways to restart Cinnamon, which will change this icon. Let me talk about those. Right click, troubleshoot, restart Cinnamon is 1. You can hit these 3 keys here. That would be the control, hold it down, hold the alt down and press the escape key. That would be 2. And then alt and F2 small r. That's what I'm going to do right now. Alt F2 small r. The mouse cursor will jump to the center and it'll say restarting Cinnamon. And no, I did not stop the video to splice it together. I am not editing this video. You didn't hear me skip a beat. Yes, I can restart Cinnamon while filming. Okay, icon has been changed. It matches that now. This is still Nemo no matter how you slice it. Right click, edit menu. That's where it's located. So again, just deal with the icon. Don't touch the commands. So what do you want to use for a file? You want to use this one? You can certainly do. Okay, it's been altered in here, but not here. I am going to restart Cinnamon a different way. Right click, troubleshoot, restart Cinnamon. Icon has now been changed to the same as that. Right click, edit menu, accessories, files, properties, icons. Let's pick something from my own folder in the icons folder. What do I want to use? Well, I used that TV screen earlier. I'm going to use FileMan next. This one. Okay, it's just an icon. That one's been changed. This one has not. What do? This time I'm going to use Control, Alt, and Escape. And it's going to flash my screen. I'm still here. All right, so I've restarted Cinnamon 3 ways. Right click, edit menu, internet. That icon there does not look like it is on your system. It looks like this. I'll type in internet. It's called application internet and it looks like the cloud or a cloud. The cloud, a cloud. Most of the cloud is made with Linux servers, right? Yeah. All right, we have that. I'll leave that one alone. But I will let you see what Firefox normally looks like. So again, how do I know this is the right one? Because it says Firefox %U. So click that and type in Firefox. Fire is probably close enough. So the standard one is this color. You also have what I call a lavender or blue color, bluish, lavender, purple, and a brown one. So I'm going to click that, select, hit OK, close the menu. That's been updated. That's been updated, but this one has not. What do? Restart Cinnamon. Well, this time I'm going to use Alt and F2, small r. Now that's been back to that. Now I've been going back and forth on all these icons just to give you the exercise of yes, you can do this. Okay. This time I'm going to do my own. Go find my folder. Go find that Firefox icon. I think it's this one. I want to say that's 6 years old, maybe more, even though that says 21 on it. Because I've moved this folder so many times over the years. So, but in either case, we're going to restart Cinnamon so you can see it. And there we have the new icon and the new icon and the new icon. Don't forget, you can resize your window this way, the box, the menu. You can resize the icons themselves by doing configure, menu, and these 3 categories. When you are altering this icon here, you know, whatever you want to use, I started with that one when I started the video, and I'm going to do a Control V because I still am holding that in the buffer. So again, if you need to add spaces, you click next to the last letter and hit the space bar to add more spacing in here. And don't forget, the size of the icon is all dependent on also what your panel height is. There is a relationship with the height of this thing. Speaking of more relationship, the left zone text size is controlled here. This is default. I call that dinky. It's too small for me. So I crank this up to 16 normally, because I like large letters. You can do the same on the left. Sorry, the right side. I got 16 on the right side also for the date and time thing. But again, I didn't want to make it all about the panel today, just mostly concentrating on this. So there you have it, folks. A couple of recaps here. If you are wanting to create your own icons, download your own icons. You can, first of all, if you want to edit icons, look for GIMP. I don't have it installed on this system, but you can find GIMP in Software Manager. It can be downloaded as Flatpak software or regular system. Okay, but more importantly, I use that pretty heavily to edit all the thumbnails on my YouTube site, previous channel and current. So that would be over 600 videos that I've done so far in the last 6 years. And more importantly, you can also alter your icons with the same tool. You can also convert images from like maybe JPEGs to PNGs or PNGs to JPEGs. That tool is pretty versatile. When you're downloading icons off the internet, if they have shadows on them, you can, if you've never used GIMP, it may be a learning curve for you, but there's lots of help out there on the help files. But you can actually eliminate these borders, so it'll look, I know this one is round, but it'll eliminate the black box. Because sometimes on your panels and different places, those black boxes show up, especially if you're doing a see-through panel. So I'm going to show you mine with a see-through, just to give you that example. So that's a semi-transparent. I'll make it fully. So there's a fully transparent panel. So as you can see, the Linux Mint logo was done with a transparency. The green LM logo. All right, I'm going to turn that back off. Thank you for watching.